Running a Linux club at your school or doing Linux lessons in your tech class sounds cool, different, exciting, and maybe hard. But it doesn't have to be. Not sure where to start? Stu Does Linux lesson plans are now available. Hello and welcome to Stu Does Linux. I'm Stu Karoff, husband, father, teacher, and amateur vexillologist. Oh, and I just found something out. According to ChatGPT and Google Gemini, one of the Linux clubs I founded, the Asian Penguins, was in fact the first school Linux club in the world. I didn't know that, but it was pretty cool to see. Take a moment and click like, subscribe, and that notification bell thing. Also, if you like what you see on Stu Does Linux, don't forget to follow me on X, Instagram, and Threads. Let's see here. Framed album cover of this video is Vital Signs by Survivor. A truly great and terribly underrated band. This is the album that Survivor did after going to #1 with Eye of the Tiger. They brought in new lead singer Jimmy Jamison, and well, it worked. A platinum album with 3 top 40 singles. It's definitely worth checking out. Now for the video. My goal with this video is not to convince people unfamiliar with Linux that Linux belongs in their classrooms. If you are not a Linux user, by all means, don't leave. Keep watching the video. But with this vid, I'm trying to reach people who like to experiment with tech, who like to try new things, and who like to take the road less traveled, especially if you're already using Linux. If that's you, then definitely stick around. Maybe you've wanted to try Linux in your tech class or do a Linux club after school, but you don't have any idea how to start. That's fair. When I started the Asian Penguins in 2012, all I knew was that I loved using Linux. I was thrilled to have it in my classroom. I absolutely love the fact that Linux made my classroom different from everyone else's. And my students wanted to learn to use Linux and learn all about it. The clubs grew out of that. And over time, I learned, tweaked, tried, failed, tried again, succeeded, and came up with a list of lessons and activities for my kids. Some lessons they liked, some they didn't, and some they absolutely loved. It was a long process that included a lot of making it up as I went along. In 2016, I spoke at the All Things Open conference in North Carolina. People there asked me if I had put together a how-to guide for running a Linux club. Well, no, I hadn't. In fact, I'd never even thought of it. But those people had a pretty good idea. That question led me to write the Linux Club Guide. In the guide, I included a lot of tips and advice for getting a club started, getting computers, recruiting students, fundraising, and promoting a Linux club. But one thing was missing: lesson plans. I didn't include any complete lesson plans in the Linux Club Guide because even though I definitely taught lessons to my students, I hadn't written any of them down. I figured people would come up with their own lesson ideas. In fact, I was hoping that other people would not only come up with their own ideas, but we could enrich each other by sharing our ideas. But as time progressed, I realized that even someone who's motivated to share Linux and open source with kids might need some additional tools to make that happen. So I started to take the lessons I had been teaching and write lesson plans for each of them. My students and I came up with some new lesson activities along the way. Each lesson I wrote was tested with the Penguin Corps to answer these two essential questions. Did you learn something new, and did you have fun? If an activity wasn't able to answer both of those questions with a yes, then it wasn't worth keeping and we tweaked it or dumped it. After all that work and real-world testing, I am pleased to announce the result. Linux Lessons for Kids from Stu Does Linux. These lessons include instructions for teachers, lesson vocabulary, printable student handouts, relevant links, slideshows, and more. And all lessons are aligned to standards from the Computer Science Teachers Association, or CSTA. The complete set contains all 10 lessons as one download. Don't want the whole thing? No problem. Each lesson is also available individually. Get just the ones you want, or get the whole batch. Topics include an introduction to Linux and open source, fun with terminal windows, how to install Ubuntu, how to configure your desktop and install apps, the ideals behind open source, learning about the BIOS, keyboard shortcuts, and how to use some popular Linux apps for fun projects. Here are a few shots of my students doing Lesson 4, Distro Hopping. In my club, we normally use Ubuntu, but this lesson gives them the opportunity to try out a handful of other distros. The kids get to find out which ones they like or dislike and can compare and contrast the different layouts and features. It's always a hit. I am very proud of this package, and it's all available for sale on Teachers Pay Teachers. The link to my TPT store is included in the description. Lessons are $5 each, but the whole set of 10 lessons is only $40. That's a 20% savings. Quite the deal. If you're ready to get started, click on my link to the TPT store and give Linux a home in your classroom. If you try any of these lessons, I want to know what you think. Did you like it? Did your kids like it? Was it easy enough for you to implement? What problems did you encounter? What did you think of that I didn't? Give me your feedback. You can leave comments on this video at the TPT store, and you can email me at studoslinux@gmail.com. That's all for now. And remember, if Stu does Linux, so can you. Have a great day.